This court has been abundantly patient with Mr. Brooks. He challenges the court's authority repeatedly. This court absolutely has the ability to tell him to sit down and be quiet. He is not in control of this courtroom. You are.
What was the reason why the judge was so soft on Darrell Brooks Jr. during the Waukesha Christmas Parade trial? It wasn't to prevent him from successfully filing an appeal, because being nice or being tough doesn't affect appeals. I don't get it, but again, I appreciate Sue Hopper being so nice to the judge, but I'm just curious, was the judge too soft on Darrell Brooks Jr.? How's it going, everyone? This is Christian Duke. You're watching Everything Else Channel on YouTube, everythingelsechannel.com. This is a brand new channel, folks. So if you can subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, you will help out hugely. Also, at any point during this video, if you like it, smash that like button and also leave a comment down below, because I want to know what you have to say. A lot of times, your comments inspire me to make new videos. So I love that Sue is just such a consummate professional and reassures the judge. And, you know, in some situations, the judge would not need to be reassured. In this case, looking at it as we look at it, those of us that are obsessed with it, the ins and outs, the objections, the admissions of evidence, the questioning of the clients, I mean, we are just micro analyzing, dissecting this case. And so we're going to find things the more that we do that. And you know, I have to say that I don't know why the judge was so soft on Darrell Brooks. You know, his constant interruptions, his absurd statements, you know, him staring her down, looking away from her, putting his head down, hiding behind boxes. I mean, just a litany of things. But I guess my question is, you know, and I'm going to talk more about this on the Sight Sounds Flavors YouTube channel, which I'll link that video to this one. But I'm also going to put some stuff here that I will not put over there. I feel that by just constantly giving him so much leeway, she kind of created a monster within that proceeding. And it was a monster that, you know, was unleashed on the victims during their impact statements. It was a monster that was unleashed on the prosecution. It was a monster that was unleashed on her, because he turned on her many, many times. And as a result, I think that a trial that could have gone a lot quicker, and I'll be damned if it's called a rush to judgment, lasted as long as it did. I mean, there's really no reason why Darrell Brooks should ever have been given 50 minutes to essentially present, you know, a nonsensical, asinine, completely absurd performance, because that, you know, you can look it up. I think it was Fox or maybe CBS or one of them. They had the full 50-minute rant, and you can listen to it. It's just absolute garbage. And so, you know, a lot of judges would have given him 5 minutes, maybe 10 at most. But again, why was Judge Dorow so soft? It wasn't because she was preventing him from getting an appeal, as so many of you seem to believe. And maybe Sue is implying that by saying, we appreciate that. We appreciate you not interrupting you. We appreciate you letting him go on and on. But that serves no purpose. I think that Sue saying that, honestly, was really just trying to bolster the judge. I feel that this judge, during parts of this trial, probably questioned her own authority. Not legally, but I think from a you know, sort of like, I mean, legally she knew that she was right. Legally she knew that you know, she's the judge, obviously. But I just think, like, spirit-wise, I think she was pretty, I mean, beaten up at times. And I think that, you know, we saw that when she admitted, when she conceded that he was scaring her. We saw it when she would stand up sometimes to address him, and then he would stand up and she wouldn't tell him to sit down. Little things like that. And again, we are very much, you know, micro-analyzing, you know, this trial. And you know, most trials don't get micro-analyzed like that unless it's a trial that, you know, we're going to be talking about for the next 10, 20 years. And I think this is a trial we're going to be talking about for the next 10, 20 years. We hate Darrell Brooks, and hate's a strong word, and hate Darrell Brooks, and I think a lot of people hate Darrell Brooks. And I'm sorry to not live up to your, virtuous definition of a content creator or even a human being, because a lot of people say that when you hate somebody, that's actually a flaw in you. But so be it. Let it be a flaw in me. I hate Darrell Brooks Jr. and I'm sure that a lot of you do as well. But I don't need the comfort in numbers. I don't care if I'm the only person that hates Darrell Brooks Jr. I hate Darrell Brooks Jr. So, the reality of the matter, though, is that I think it's very interesting to see a prosecutor do what Sue Opper did for the judge, which is basically validate the judge's position and power. And that's not something that you see very often. And in many ways, I think that, and my video for Sight Sounds Flavors is going to be something along the lines of, what do you think, how do you think Sue Opper, or how do you think the trial would have gone if Sue Opper was a judge? Reverse the roles. Actually, don't even reverse the roles, because the judge was a softie as a judge. I would not have wanted her as a prosecutor. She did a great job as a judge. I gave her an A, not an A+, an A. But I'm curious what it would have been like if Sue Opper was a judge, because she would not have allowed a 50-minute rant. She would not have allowed him to torment the witnesses. She would not have allowed him to berate and badger and character assassinate Erica Patterson. She wouldn't have allowed any of that. He wouldn't have been able to do any of that, I don't think. But the reality of the matter is that I thought it was very interesting that Sue, and this was not an isolated case either. I found that, and I don't know, like, if Sue was frustrated with the judge either. Not like in an angry way, but just kind of like in a desperation kind of way. Like, you're the judge. Like, why are you letting this guy, like, do what he's doing? Why are you allowing this? Why are you, like, allowing this monster to be created before our very eyes? I mean, he's a monster already for what he did. And not just at the Waukesha Christmas Parade, which is the worst of the worst that he did, but he's also done a lot of bad in his life. This is a bad guy. This is a bad guy. But I think Sue and the prosecution, probably the bailiffs as well, and maybe even the court staff, were like wondering, why are you letting this guy give 50-minute rants? Why are you letting this guy badger witnesses that were victims? Why are you letting this guy, open the door and then close the door and then just make objection after objection that are completely without any merit? Why? I mean, forget his appeal. Not to mention the fact that, I think like 3% of appeals are even have merit, and even less actually win. And if they win, they just go back to the hearing. For a retrial on an isolated matter. I mean, very seldom do the, verdicts get vacated or something like. I mean, it's just like, why? Like, I guess that's a good why. And so I feel like, and also members of law enforcement as well. And I think that there's so much more here to Sue bolstering the judge. I mean, you bolster a witness that has put their foot in their mouth or didn't remember something, or maybe doesn't look all that credible in front of the jury. But I have never seen a prosecutor bolster a judge in open court like that before. I've never seen that. And it wasn't like Sue was trying to win the judge over to get a piece of evidence admitted or have a motion listened to more favorably. She didn't have a dog in the race. She wasn't buttering the judge up for something. She wasn't trying to win the judge over. I've never seen a judge get bolstered by a prosecutor. I've never seen a judge give a defendant as much leeway as Judge Dorow gave to Darrell Brooks Jr. So to me, it's just an interesting situation is all. But I encourage you guys to leave a comment down below. I encourage you guys to like this video if you like it. And if you don't like it, pretend like a thumbs up is a thumbs down. Help the channel grow, guys. Everything else channel needs to grow, and it will only grow if you subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, leave a comment, give a like, tell YouTube that you like this content, because I'm not about putting out minutes and minutes of the trial. That's just rebranding, reposting other people's content. I use a little bit for fair use, and then maybe like 20-30 seconds, and then we talk about it for 9-10 minutes, and then you leave comments and I respond and we have a conversation, and that's what it's all about. But in my humble opinion, it is a sad day when a prosecutor needs to bolster a judge and remind the judge that the judge is in charge because the judge has allowed a monster to be created before her very own eyes.